Commander Natasha Volkov stood at the observation deck of Lunar Station Epsilon, her dark eyes fixed on the blue marble of Earth below. 20 years of service in the United Earth Defense Force hadn't prepared her for what crossed her desk that morning. The holographic message still flickered in her mind. Thousands of missing persons cases over the past decade, all dismissed as runaways or accidents, now painted in a horrifying new light. "Commander," Lieutenant James Harrison's voice cracked slightly as he entered the room. "The quantum decrypt is complete. You need to see this." The command center hummed with tension as Volkov reviewed the intercepted transmission. The holographic display showed shipping manifests, coordinates, and clinical assessments of biological resources. Each entry represented a human being, stripped of identity and reduced to inventory. "They've been operating right under our noses," Harrison muttered, scrolling through the data. "Using scout ships disguised as meteor showers to conduct abductions. The Empire's been treating Earth like their private hunting ground." The Galactic Empire had maintained a facade of disinterest in Earth for centuries, claiming humanity was too primitive for formal contact. Now they knew why. Earth wasn't ignored, it was being harvested. Admiral Kenzo Tanaka of the Pacific Fleet joined them virtually, his weathered face grim. "The numbers are worse than we thought. Over 50,000 in the past year alone. They're targeting isolated communities, disaster zones, anywhere people might not be missed." Volkov activated the secure neural link to the Joint Chiefs. "We've confirmed that the Empire maintains 17 processing facilities across 3 sectors. The closest is on Proxima, masked as a mining operation." She paused, letting the implications sink in. "They're not just taking adults. There are juvenile processing centers." The neural link buzzed with controlled fury. Humanity had spent decades rebuilding after the climate wars, developing revolutionary technologies in secret, while the Empire dismissed them as savages. Now they knew why their attempts at official first contact had been repeatedly deflected. Deep beneath the Himalayas, in a facility unknown to all but a handful of humans, Dr. Raj Patil accessed the quantum vault containing Project Prometheus. "Commander," he transmitted, "the prototype ships are ready. We've successfully integrated the reverse-engineered Empire tech with our own innovations. They won't see us coming." The next transmission from the Empire's trade fleet arrived right on schedule, encoded in quantum packets designed to be unbreakable. They didn't expect their primitive humans to have developed quantum AI systems capable of real-time decryption. The message contained coordinates for the next collection operation, targeted for the refugee camps in Southeast Asia. "Not this time," Volkov declared, initiating the command sequence that would activate sleeper cells of defense forces hidden around the globe. "Lieutenant Harrison, begin Operation Nightfall. Dr. Patel, bring Prometheus online. Admiral Tanaka, deploy the Pacific Fleet's submarine carriers. We're going to show the Empire exactly how primitive we are." The Proxima Facility's overseer, a towering being of crystalline structures and metallic appendages, received an urgent alert. The human shipping manifest was late. Impossible. The collection ships never failed. Security protocols activated automatically, but the overseer felt something unfamiliar: uncertainty. In lunar orbit, Commander Volkov boarded the UES Hyperion, humanity's first true starship. Built in secret over 2 decades, it represented the pinnacle of human ingenuity combined with stolen Empire technology. The bridge crew worked with practiced precision, each member chosen for their exceptional abilities and personal stakes in the mission. "All stations report ready," Harrison announced from his tactical station. "Stealth systems nominal. Quantum drive spooling up." Volkov took her command chair, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. "Send the message to all commands. Operation Nightfall is go." The Empire wanted to keep humanity in the dark. "Let's show them what lurks in the shadows." As the Hyperion and its sister ships slipped away from Earth's orbit, cloaked in technologies the Empire believed impossible for humans to possess, Volkov allowed herself a grim smile. The Empire had made a fatal mistake. They'd given humanity time to prepare, to advance, to plan, all while believing their secret was safe. The war for humanity's future was about to begin, and the Empire would learn that their primitive prey had developed teeth of their own. The Hyperion emerged from quantum space at the edge of the Proxima system, its advanced stealth systems rendering it invisible to Imperial sensors. Streams of commercial traffic flowed between the planets, cargo ships, mining vessels, and passenger liners. But Commander Volkov's trained eye caught the subtle patterns of military patrols disguised as routine traffic. Multiple Empire security vessels detected, Harrison reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. They're running standard sweep patterns. No indication they've detected us. Dr. Patel's voice came through the neural link from Earth. The quantum taps are in position. We're intercepting their complete command network. You should be receiving the real-time decrypt now. The bridge's main display filled with Imperial communications. Among the routine traffic management and trade notifications, darker messages flowed. Coordinates for new collection sites, efficiency reports from processing centers, and delivery schedules for biological resources. New intelligence coming in. Lieutenant Samira Patel, the ship's data warfare specialist, announced. We're not the only ones they're harvesting. At least 6 other pre-FTL civilizations are being exploited. The Empire's built an entire shadow economy on slave labor. Volkov absorbed the information with growing resolve. Contact the resistance cells. It's time for Phase 2. Across 3 sectors of space, carefully positioned agents began their work. Some were humans, disguised using advanced biotech to pass as various alien species. Others were allies, members of other exploited races who discovered the truth and chosen to fight back. On the industrial world of Nexus Prime, maintenance worker Tatak, actually Lieutenant Maria Santos of Earth Intelligence, planted quantum viruses in the Empire's primary shipping database. In the diplomatic halls of the Empire's capital, Trade Minister Vexthar, a disguised Captain Benjamin Walker, arranged for key inspection vessels to be conveniently reassigned. Back on Earth, humanity's hidden strengths emerged from the shadows. Beneath the Pacific Ocean, massive submarine factories began producing advanced weaponry developed from reverse-engineered Imperial tech. In orbital shipyards concealed by quantum fields, more warships took shape. The Empire's getting suspicious, Admiral Tanaka reported during the daily command briefing. They've noticed the drop in collection quotas. Their security forces are increasing patrols around primary targets. Good, Volkov responded. Let them waste resources chasing shadows. Dr. Patel, status on Project Prometheus. The scientist's hologram smiled. The quantum field generators are ready. Once activated, they'll disrupt Imperial FTL travel across entire sectors. They won't be able to bring in reinforcements when we strike. The Hyperion's first target was a small processing facility on Proxima's moon. Intelligence suggested it held over 3,000 human captives, mostly children. The facility's isolation made it perfect for testing humanity's new weapons against Imperial defenses. Multiple contacts, Harrison warned as they approached the moon. 4 Imperial security cruisers and a defense platform. Volkov nodded. Deploy the ghosts. From the Hyperion's launch base, dozens of small craft emerged. Each contained only a quantum AI core and advanced weaponry. Humanity's answer to Imperial drone technology. The Empire believed AI development was impossible without their advanced crystalline computing matrices. They were wrong. The battle lasted less than 6 minutes. Imperial sensors, designed to detect known energy signatures, were blind to Earth's hybrid technology. The defense platform fell first, its quantum-shifted shields useless against weapons that phased between dimensions. The security cruisers followed, their crews never even seeing their attackers. Ground team is deployed, Harrison reported. Security systems are down. We're reading 2,843 human life signs. The rescue operation moved with precision born of years of planning. Medical teams treated the worst cases of abuse and neglect, while combat units secured the facility. Within hours, the captives were aboard emergency transport ships, bound for secret medical facilities on Mars. But victory came with a price. Among the facility's data cores, they found evidence of something worse than slave labor. The Empire wasn't just exploiting human workers, they were conducting genetic experiments, seeking to create enhanced slaves for specialized tasks. "They're playing God," Dr. Patel said, his voice shaking as he reviewed the data. "Trying to engineer the perfect servants. Most of the subjects don't survive the procedures." Volkov's grip tightened on her command chair. "Send everything to Earth Command. And notify our allies. The Empire hasn't just committed crimes against humanity. They've committed crimes against all sentient life." As the Hyperion prepared to strike its next target, the first waves of a greater storm were building. On a dozen worlds, slaves began mysteriously disappearing from their compounds. Imperial ships vanished from their patrol routes. And in the shadows of the Empire's grand cities, whispers spread of human ghosts who could appear from nowhere and vanish just as quickly. The Empire had spent centuries believing they were the masters of the galaxy. They were about to learn that humanity wasn't just fighting for revenge. They were fighting to tear down an empire built on suffering and lies. The Grand Hall of the Resistance Summit hummed with tension as representatives from 7 enslaved species gathered in a hidden base beneath Europa's ice. Commander Volkov stood before them, her uniform bearing the new insignia of the United Liberation Forces. "We've confirmed what many of you suspected," she addressed the assembled delegates. "The Empire's genetic experiments weren't isolated incidents. They're part of a systematic program to create specialized slave races for every conceivable purpose." Kavera, a tall crystalline being from the Rigel system, raised a luminescent appendage. "Our scientists have analyzed the data from the Proxima facility. The Empire has been combining genetic material from multiple species, trying to create hybrids with enhanced capabilities." The holographic display showed horrifying images. Laboratories filled with failed experiments, children from various species modified beyond recognition, and detailed research logs documenting countless atrocities. "The main research facility is on Centaur Prime," Lieutenant Harrison reported, highlighting a massive space station orbiting the system's second planet. "It's their most heavily defended installation outside the Imperial core worlds." The Andromean representative, a being of pure energy contained within an environmental suit, pulsed with anger. "My people can provide quantum disruptors to counter their shield grid, but the station's defenses are unlike anything we've encountered. That's because they're protecting something bigger than we imagined," Dr. Patel's hologram interjected. "We've decoded their classified research directives. The Empire isn't just creating slaves. They're trying to engineer the next stage of their own evolution." The revelation sent shockwaves through the assembly. The Empire, for all its technological advancement, was a dying species. Their obsession with genetic purity had led to widespread sterility and genetic degradation. Their solution was to harvest the strongest traits from lesser species, creating a new generation of imperial leaders. "The station's not just a research facility," Volkov continued. "It's an incubation chamber for their future ruling class. They're using our children to ensure their own survival." The attack plan took shape over the next several hours. The combined fleet would strike simultaneously at key Imperial installations across 3 sectors, drawing away defensive forces. Meanwhile, a special task force led by the Hyperion would penetrate Centauri Prime's defenses. In the weeks that followed, resistance cells activated across Imperial space. On the mining world of Theta AX, modified human workers suddenly displayed impossible strength, overwhelming their overseers. Throughout the Empire's transportation network, slave ships mysteriously changed course, their control systems hacked by quantum AI. The Hyperion led a flotilla of stealth ships toward Centauri Prime, their crews representing every species in the Alliance. Dr. Patel's latest innovation, a quantum phase drive, allowed them to slip between the dimensions where Imperial sensors operated. Multiple defense platforms detected. Harrison announced as they approached the station, reading over 200 Imperial vessels in defensive formation. Volkov activated the fleet-wide neural link. All ships, initiate Operation Thunderstrike. Kivera Squadron, target their long-range sensors. Andronian units, begin quantum disruption. Earth forces, prepare for close assault. The battle erupted across multiple dimensions of space. Imperial ships found their advanced weapons useless against vessels that could shift between realities. The station's supposedly impenetrable shields flickered and died as Andromian energy beings overloaded their quantum matrices. Inside the station, chaos reigned. The assault teams, led by Lieutenant Samira Patel, fought their way through corridors filled with Imperial security forces. Their hybrid weapons, combining Earth's ingenuity with alien technology, proved devastatingly effective. Central laboratory secured, Samira reported, her voice tight with controlled fury. "Commander, you need to see this." The laboratory complex was vast, filled with stasis pods containing thousands of modified children from dozens of species. But it was the central chamber that revealed the Empire's true horror. There, in massive growth tanks, floated the next generation of Imperial leaders, beings engineered using the stolen genetic material of countless victims. "Download everything," Volkov ordered, "then set the quantum charges. This abomination ends today." As evacuation ships rescued the surviving victims, the Hyperion's weapons targeted the station's main reactor. The resulting explosion created a quantum cascade that would ensure nothing remained of the Empire's twisted experiments. But victory came with a sobering realization. The station's data cores revealed hundreds more secret facilities scattered throughout Imperial space. The Empire's corruption ran deeper than anyone had imagined, and they would not surrender their power easily. In the aftermath of the battle, as the Alliance fleet regrouped near Europa, Commander Volkov addressed her crew. "Today we struck a decisive blow, but our fight is far from over. The Empire built its civilization on the suffering of others. It will take all of us working together to dismantle their system of oppression." The revolution that began with Earth's discovery of its stolen children had evolved into something larger, a unified movement of enslaved peoples fighting for their freedom. And at its heart was the unbreakable spirit of humanity, turning the Empire's greatest mistake into their ultimate downfall. The Imperial Palace on Nexus Centauri was burning. Through the smoke-filled corridors of power, High Counselor Zarkax moved with increasing desperation, his crystalline form reflecting the chaos around him. Behind him, the sounds of battle grew closer. Commander Volkov led the assault team through the palace's quantum-shielded halls, their hybrid weapons cutting through generations of Imperial defenses. The revolution had reached the Empire's heart, but the cost had been staggering. Multiple targets ahead, Harrison warned through the neural link. They're protecting something in the central archive. The archive's security systems fell to the combined might of human ingenuity and alien technology. Inside, the true horror of the Empire's legacy lay exposed. Holographic records spanning millennia revealed a civilization built entirely on exploitation. The Empire hadn't just enslaved other species, they had engineered the development of entire civilizations, guiding them toward specific traits they desired. Earth wasn't ignored. Dr. Patel's voice shook as he analyzed the data. "We were cultivated. The Empire manipulated our conflicts, our disasters, even our climate, all to produce the genetic traits they wanted. But the Empire's plans had backfired spectacularly. Their manipulations had forced humanity to become more adaptable, more innovative, and ultimately more dangerous than they'd intended. They'd created their own destruction." The final stand of the Imperial Guard ended in quantum fire as the Alliance forces breached the last defenses. High Counselor Zarkax was found in the Emperor's private chambers, surrounded by ancient artifacts stolen from 100 worlds. "You understand nothing." The Counselor's crystalline voice resonated with contempt. "The Empire is order. Without us, the galaxy will fall into chaos." Volkov's response was cut short by an urgent transmission from the Hyperion. "Commander, we're detecting massive energy signatures. They're activating something at the galactic core. Humanity ascending." The Empire's final gambit was as ambitious as it was desperate. Deep within the galactic core, ancient machines built by the Empire's predecessors began to hum with power. Their purpose? To rewrite the quantum laws of local space, making it impossible for any but pure Imperial biology to survive. "They're trying to purge the galaxy." Kivera's crystalline form pulsed with alarm. The Empire would rather destroy everything than lose control. But humanity had spent centuries learning to overcome impossible odds. Dr. Patel's quantum laboratories on Earth had already discovered the solution, though no one had known its true purpose until now. Project Prometheus was never just about ships or weapons, he revealed. It's about rewriting reality itself. We can use the quantum field generators to counter their attack. The final battle would not be fought with ships or soldiers, but with the fundamental forces of the universe itself. As Imperial machines tried to rewrite the laws of physics, humanity's quantum network activated, creating a protective field that spread across Alliance space. The Hyperion led a desperate mission to the galactic core, carrying a device that represented the combined scientific knowledge of all Alliance species. Imperial forces threw everything they had at the ship, but they couldn't stop what humanity had become. "All ships, commence final attack," Volkov commanded. "The Empire dies today." The device activated, sending waves of quantum energy through the fabric of space-time. Imperial technology, dependent on their version of physical laws, began to fail. Their ships died in space, their weapons fell silent, and their grand cities went dark. In the aftermath, as Alliance ships rescued stranded Imperial citizens and began the long process of dismantling the Empire's infrastructure, Commander Volkov stood again in the observation deck of Lunar Station Epsilon, watching Earth rotate below. "The latest reports are in," Harrison reported. "Over 1 million enslaved beings freed. The genetic research facilities have been destroyed. The Empire's leadership is in custody." But the real work was just beginning. The Alliance had to build something new from the ashes of the Empire, something that would preserve the best aspects of all species while ensuring no one could ever again enslave another. They thought they were creating perfect slaves, Volkov reflected, watching ships from a dozen species moving through Earth orbit. Instead, they created something they couldn't control: unity. The galaxy was entering a new age. Humanity had not only freed itself, but had become a catalyst for universal change. The Empire's greatest fear had been realized. Their primitive subjects had evolved beyond their control. In the decades that followed, Earth became a symbol not of subjugation, but of liberation. The former Imperial capital was transformed into the Galactic Alliance headquarters, where representatives of all species worked together to build a better future. And in schools across the galaxy, children of all species learned the lesson that had brought down an empire, that true strength lies not in domination, but in the unbreakable spirit of those who fight for freedom. The story of humanity's rise from enslaved species to galactic liberators became legend, but its message remained simple and eternal. Never underestimate those you think inferior, for in their struggle against oppression, they may discover strengths you never imagined possible.